For whatever reason, my capture didn't record the voices, so I'm going to do the voices myself, right? It's going to be really great. By dawn, you will be completely surrounded. We are Spartans. When are we not?
Spartans. That word will mean nothing when Xerxes wipes your bloodline from the face of the...
He just stabbed him in the mouth, didn't he, with a spear? Just put the spear right in his mouth and now he's dead. Didn't see that coming, did you? Yeah, definitely not going to win any Oscars for that one. But welcome guys to some more Assassin's Creed Odyssey gameplay. There was an event recently in Paris, and what you're seeing here is some highlights of the capture there. And it's gone full 300 at the start. And there's our boy Leonidas, looking fairly beaten down. Probably takes its toll, you know, constantly defending Greece against Xerxes' invasion. Mincing his way through waves of Persian soldiers. And this is the intro for Odyssey, and damn, it's cool. Considering the protagonist of Odyssey is a descendant of the mighty Leonidas, the grandson or granddaughter. In fact, I'm going to assume that we'll be seeing a fair few flashbacks involving him. This specific cutscene doesn't say exactly, but given his age, I'm going to guess that it's around the Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BCE. The talk of Xerxes being aware of a route around the mountains and them being surrounded seems to suggest this. It's said that Leonidas marched out of Sparta to meet Xerxes' army with just 1,200 men, 900 of which were helots, a status between free men and slaves, and 300 of which were Spartans. Along with forces from other Greek cities, the army stood 7,000 strong. This sounds like a lot, right? Well, there are only estimates available, but it said that Xerxes' army was between 70,000 to 300,000 men, so not such a great time for Leonidas and the Spartans. Now, like I said, I've already done a couple videos on Odyssey, and we're now mere weeks away from its release, and I've been able to play 3 separate demos of the game set at varying intervals during the game's story. My last video from Gamescom with the boss lady Medusa focused towards endgame, whereas this demo focused on the beginning. So it was all about your character's backstory, who they were and who they are currently, and now as you take control, who you'll shape them to be. It seems that as you play your chosen character, you'll find out more from your past, which will ultimately affect the choices that you make. And while I can't show you any story specifics, I'm not here to spoil your experience, what I can say is that the story of Odyssey's main characters, Alexios and Cassandra, depending on who you pick, left a lot of intrigue, and I came away from my time hungry to know more. So the game starts you on the beautiful Isle of Kefalonia in 431 BCE, the largest of the Ionian Islands and the 6th largest island in Greece, and there's plenty to do before you set off on your adventures, whether that's helping out the locals raiding caves of bandits, culling the wildlife, beating up sharks, because why not, you want that necklace, kicking chickens, or hanging out in the butt crack of a statue. It's a great introduction to the game and the mechanics and your character's story. So you get a nice little introduction to the protagonist and learn that Kefalonia might be their home now, but it wasn't always. A rocky childhood for our character saw them flee their home only to be washed up in Kefalonia on a whim, and there a fella named Marcos finds you, and together you become a duo of sorts as you aid him in his many dirty dealings and scams, a bit like Fagin in Oliver Twist. It seems that you've been helping him and sorting out his problems for years, and at this point your character is hungry for more adventure. Now in Assassin's Creed Origins, Bayek was a Magi, almost like a guardian of the nation. In Odyssey, you take the role of a Mystios, which ties in nicely with one of the game's newest features, the Mercenaries tab, which is a slightly different take on Origins Phylax. Also Mercenary Warriors found around Egypt. In Odyssey, there's a hierarchy of sorts to climb, and a whole section dedicated to these fellas split up in varying tiers. And this will allow you to review your position, see the rewards for each tier, as well as the status, strengths and weaknesses for all known mercenaries and bounty hunters. It's a bit like GTA's bounties or Shadow of Mordor's Nemesis system if you played that, except these enemies don't come back, they're not orcs. Or so we hope. Now we were given the option to take down the first mercenary, Talus the Stone Fist, and I did manage to take him down at level 4, and this was a difficult fight for me, an absolute unit of a man. I spent a lot of time hiding in bushes to regain health. Did eventually manage to take him out though, and it will be interesting to see how difficult these mercenaries get as you progress through the game and exactly who they are. Of course, you're supposed to be neutral during this conflict between the city-states of ancient Greece, but in true classic RPG fashion, you're pulled right into the mix of other people's debts and problems, war and bias, but this time, you've got choices to make, big choices. The beginnings of Odyssey throw you right into the thick of it with the job to take down a general, and this is your ticket and excuse to get off the island, but you don't have a boat, and the quest line that leads up to your boat prize was thoroughly enjoyable and allows you to get to know your chosen sibling's personality. If it's one thing that Ubisoft does well, it's characters, witty characters. I particularly enjoyed the encounter with the Cyclops, who isn't quite the mythological being that I thought he might be. Instead, he's just a really big bloke with an eye patch. Quite menacing in stature, he holds an obsidian eye that we steal to try and pay off someone else's debt. And upon learning that he has a boat, Cassandra decides to kill two birds with one stone and opts to insert the eye inside the anus of a goat just to antagonize him. And then you've got to fight him and his crew. Job done, Cyclops is gone, your boat's sorted, you can get the hell out of Dodge. Now, one major mechanic I noticed that hasn't been in an Assassin's Creed game before was that I could choose my gameplay mode, either guided mode or exploration mode. The former being a more traditional experience with markers being displayed at all times and quest objectives given to you automatically, like the older games giving players an option, a much more linear experience and holding your hand. But the latter option is a new approach to play styles in which the player must investigate the world to uncover targets and quest objectives. Now, the devs insisted that this is the best way to experience Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I'd agree in a certain respect. It just depends on your playstyle. Quest givers will offer you an idea as to where a location might be, but you've got to use the tips to find the exact location. It's more like a treasure hunt that encourages exploration and uncovering locations on the map. The more locations you uncover, the easier it's going to be in the future to find quest locations. Of course, exploration yields other rewards such as weapons, resources and skins from animal lairs to help craft better gear. All in all, my time with Odyssey I think has been enjoyable. I've played the game at 3 different sessions now and I've liked it. It is 300 Simulator as far as I'm concerned. The only thing is, I was quite surprised to see a new Assassin's Creed game so soon after Origins, but they say that this has been worked on for over 3 years now, and I feel like Ubisoft has fleshed out the engine and they've blended the old with the ever-evolving RPG system. So you've got unique side quests in here, you've got dialogue options now, choices with consequence, multiple endings, and an array of weapon choices and skill trees. So I'm really looking forward to what the future holds for the Assassin's Creed franchise. Between you and I still hope that the next game after Odyssey will be set in ancient China or samurai Japan. Either would be incredible. But a huge thanks to Ubisoft for allowing me to capture this gameplay and sponsoring this video. So over to you guys. What do you think about this game? Are you looking forward to it? Don't care? On the shelf? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And that's all for today, guys. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.